All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Commissioners held for the purpose of transacting the general business of the township. Today's date is April 9th, 2025. The meeting is being held in the Springfield Township building, being offered in a live streaming feature. The meeting will also be made available on the township's website beginning tomorrow morning. Comments will not be accepted remotely during the meeting, but instructions for submitting public comment in advance of tonight's meeting was provided as part of the posted agenda. Mr. Taylor, if you could summarize any public comment received.
No public comments were received, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. At this time, I would ask you to please stand and join the Board of Commissioners in a moment of silent reflection to honor the servicemen and women who place themselves in harm's way in order to help preserve our safety at home and overseas. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Second time I read that. I said that today.
Yep.
Okay. I would entertain a motion dispensing with the reading of the minutes of the previous meeting as written and recorded in the official minute book of the township.
Make that motion.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote. Commissioner Morris is not with us in person this evening. Other than that, we're all here. So a couple announcements before we get to our agenda. Board of Commissioners conducted an executive session as part of its April 7th, 2025 workshop meeting to discuss 1 real estate and 2 litigation matters. And I would also like to announce that on Saturday, April 26th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Springfield Township Police Department will participate in the National Drug Take-Back Day by accepting and safely disposing of unwanted and expired prescription drugs at the police station here at 1510 Paper Mill Road in Winmore. I would also like to announce for the 3rd year running of the annual Springfield Township No Stigma, No Shame Day, which we will be observed on Saturday, April 19th, 2025. No Stigma, No Shame Day is intended to support public awareness of substance misuse, substance abuse disorder, and to promote awareness of mental health challenges. And I would like to invite Barbara Sant and her team of the Springfield Township Opioid Action Committee to join us this evening and share any remarks.
This is the first time I've had a team, so I'm very excited. Yeah, I don't have teams. Anyway, I'm Barbara Senst, 315 Woods Road, Glenside, and you want to introduce yourself, Cece?
My name is Cece Daly. I am from 608 Wishman Ave. My name is Sadie Curtis, and I am from 324 Woods Road.
Anyway, glad to be back. We're very happy that we're going on our actual 3rd annual No Stigma, No Shame Day. And we decided we focus, we talk to kids all the time. You know, we're out in the community and we talk to kids in schools all the time about different things, but it's not just about drugs and substance use and things like that. So we talk about mental health a lot. And we always talk to these kids and they're surprised when I say this to them, because I always say to them, you know, everybody has mental health. And they look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, you have physical health, you have mental health. There are lots of different kinds of health, and that's just part of everything. So let's talk about that. People have good days, people have bad days. There are reasons people have good days and bad days, and sometimes they come and go and sometimes they don't. And that's when we start talking about no stigma, no shame. So for our little presentation this year, I've invited Sadie and Cece to do their little presentation. And this is what we talk about with kids a lot, to understand no stigma and no shame. Okay, let's go.
What is stigma? Stigma is when someone thinks or says something bad about someone else because they are different, or do something differently, or have different ideas. Someone who cries a lot is being stupid, doesn't want to do their classwork, and is just trying to get attention. But did you know, crying is how some kids might show their feelings, and something may have happened that really upset them. Please don't make fun of them or laugh at them. Maybe sit next to them, ask why they're upset, and just listen. Example 2. If someone wears their hair differently from others, it's weird and they're weird. And they're not welcome to playdates, sports events, and other social activities. But did you know? They're really creative and artistic. And besides, hair doesn't grow the same way on every head. And guess what? They are styling the actor's hair in the high school musical play Wicked. Now that's cool. Let's go congratulate them and go see the play. The sooner we learn about stigma, the less there will be when we get older. What is shame? Shame is a feeling of embarrassment or confusion that someone can feel if they think they've done something wrong. They think they are different, or they think they have behaved badly. Anyone can feel shame when others make fun of them or say mean things to them. Example, I dropped a dish and it shattered all over the floor when I was clearing off the table at a birthday party. Everyone laughed at me and told me I'm a klutz and I can't do anything right. I ran and hid in the closet and cried because I'm bad and no one will hang out with me now and no one likes me and I don't have no one friends anymore. How about this instead? I dropped a dish and it shattered all over the floor when I was clearing off the table at a birthday party. Everyone got up and helped pick up the pieces and threw them away. They said there are lots of dishes we can use. Then we sang happy birthday and ate cake. I realized that I just made a mistake and didn't mean to drop the dish. It was a little heavy. Let's be kind. It's better for everyone. How do we stop stigma and shame? Listen, help, be kind, and do not judge. Everyone is different, and that's okay. We shouldn't judge others because they may not be the same as we are. Everyone has their own feelings and experiences. It's important to be kind, understanding, and respectful. It's okay to ask for help. It means you are strong and confident, not weak. It's okay to talk about our differences, learn about other ideas and beliefs, and accept those differences. No stigma and no shame improves health and happiness. No stigma and no shame.
I want you to let you know too, they had a lot of input on the script and made lots of changes after I did it, so. It was great. So another person was supposed to be here tonight too, but her soccer practice got moved from Monday to Wednesday because of weather, so. But I just want to let you know how it's important, you know how important it is for people to get help and for people to ask to help, and they need to start learning it when they're kids, you know. They learn about bullying, and this is all about bullying and everything, but kind of another level underneath it and what is really going on here and what are the alternatives, you know, what can we do to help people? What can they do to help their friends? So with that, that's our presentation tonight. I've left some new pamphlets out in the front, and along with, there are more flyers here. If you guys want any flyers or anything, or want me to send anything to schools or businesses or wherever, just get a hold of me and let me know. We'll be at the Drug Take Back Day again, which we wouldn't miss for the world because we love doing it with the police, but we will be giving out Narcan there too. So you can let everybody know, and that'll be on our website and everything too. Do you have any questions, or do you have any questions for the girl?
In part, can you let exactly what you'll be doing for No Stigma, No Shame Day?
We really aren't going to be doing a lot for No Stigma, No Shame Day. We've done a couple things in the school. I was telling Mike that Sue and I have had a crazy last few months, so we have not been doing much of anything. So we're kind of back now, and we're going to be showing up at just different events. We're going to be in the middle school a little bit, and then we're going to be sending off all of our stuff to the school, and they're going to be putting it on all their monitors and everything. So we're kind of doing it a little bit behind the scenes and not doing any big, huge event this year, just because we couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to the performers, very impressive.
They're really good, aren't they?
We have a lot of people come up and make presentations or have to speak in front of the township, and blown away by it. Your poise and your communication is really incredible. Very, very good job.
We knit together and we get in on tour. We do other things besides just looking at the computer, so we're good, right?
Sadie and Cece, you should take your show on the road. First of all, a lot of people didn't hear that message, but if we read our reports the way that you presented, we might have more people in the audience.
Yeah.
Your presentation skills are excellent, excellent, and I'm so impressed with how brave you are and so confident in how you showed up here and presented to us, so it's really impressive. And your message is really important, so thank you for being there to share it.
And I must say, I've been really thankful to their parents too, because they've been great and they've been so supportive of them doing this with us, because not everybody is. So we're very grateful. One of them back there, John. Yes. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Barb.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Cece and Sadie, and I would just reiterate what the other commissioners said. Your message of kindness and being not afraid to ask for help is really important. And really, Barb, thank you for all that you've done over the years and continue to do to get that message out.
Thank you for your support.
Great.
Okay.
All right, this time, the board is now open to comments or questions from the public. The board draws particular attention to those items listed on the agenda this evening. Please be advised that once the committee reports begin, the board can no longer accept questions from the floor. At the conclusion of the committee reports, public comments will once again be accepted. However, official action on those issues listed on the agenda will have already taken place. Therefore, if you wish to comment on an agenda item, now would be the appropriate time. Okay, we'll get into our committee reports. As the Public Safety Committee, I do not have a report this evening, so we will go right to the chairman of the Community Development Committee, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one resolution and one reappointment to a board. My resolution is number 1663, Land Development, Mount St. Joe's Academy. I move the Board of Commissioners adopt resolution number 1663, a resolution granting preliminary/final land development approval to Mount St. Joe's Academy, 120 West Wissahickon Avenue, Flowertown. The subject of the plan is the construction of 30,500 square feet of new building construction to include a field house and arts wing. As part of the renovations and improvements, the existing driveway and tennis courts will be relocated and reconstructed, and 40 new off-street parking spaces will be constructed. Additional improvements include stormwater management facilities and landscaping. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second? Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Thank you. My second notice is regarding the building code building code Board of Appeals. I move the Board of Commissioners appoint David Sands to a new 3-year term of service as a member of the Springfield Township Building Code Board of Appeals. Mr. Sands' new term of service shall expire April the 15th, 2028. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
And that concludes my reports, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. We'll now go to the Chairman of the Administrative Fiscal Affairs and the Zoning Committee, Commissioner Cobb.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, regarding the bill listing, I move that the Board of Commissioners approve the March check reconciliation in the amount of $541,271.24 and the April bill listing in the amount of $1,375,706.87. And that's my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Great. Next, regarding the zoning hearing board agenda for the month of April. We have an abundance of applications, so it's going to be spread out over 2 nights. We will meet on Monday, April 28th and Wednesday, April 30th to receive testimony for the following applications. The following applications will be on Monday, the 28th. First being from Miss Sharon Miller, owner of the property located at 502 Coursey Road in Orland. They are seeking approval to construct an addition to the side of their home and that would reduce the aggregate side yard setbacks to 20 feet instead of the required 25 feet. Both side yards are proposed to be 10 feet in width. That property is zoned within the B residential district of Ward 6. Next is the application of Jacqueline Panagel and Michael Fenton, owners of the property located at 8301 Henry Way in Glenside. They are seeking approval to construct a deck to the rear of the home that will increase the building coverage to 15.9% of the total lot area instead of the 15% permitted. That property is zoned within the AA residential district of Ward 7. And finally, to be heard on Monday, the 28th, will be the application of St. Genevieve's Church and School, owners of the property located at 1237 Bethlehem Pike in Flowertown. They are seeking an extension of relief that was granted on May 22nd, 2023, that allowed for the placement of a module classroom without increasing the required on-site parking. That variance again was granted. They're seeking an extension for it was to be removed by July 1st, 2025. That property is zoned within the B and C residential district as well as the B1 business district of Ward 1. To be heard on Wednesday, April 30th, is the application of Christia and James Donahue, owners of the property located at 508 Drayton Road in Orland. Those applicants are seeking approval to replace their existing 4-foot-high fence with a 5-foot-high fence along a portion of their Enfield Road frontage. That property is zoned within the B residential district of Ward 3. Next, the application of Patricia and Darren Hale, owners of the property located at 412 Suffolk Road in Flowertown. They are seeking approval to construct an addition to the side of their home that will reduce the required 12-foot side yard setback to 9.76 feet and the required 35-foot aggregate side yard setbacks to 31.7 feet. That property is zoned within the A residential district of Ward 1. Next is the application of the First Presbyterian Church in Springfield, owners of the property located at 1710 Bethlehem Pike in Flowertown. These applicants are requesting a variance, seeking approval to operate what they have labeled as a, in quotes, limited daycare use from the property. That property is zoned within the D residential and B2 business district of Ward 6. And finally, the application of Julie and Patrick Kelly, owners of the property located at 509 Willow Grove Avenue in Winmore. Property owners are seeking approval to install a 6-foot-high fence 7 feet from the front property line instead of the required 15 feet. That property is zoned within the A residential district of Ward 5 in Springfield Township. Big month for fences. Each of those applications and package are available for review within the Community Development Office during normal business hours. And again, the zoning hearing board will be meeting twice this month on the Monday, the 28th and Wednesday, the 30th in this room. That's my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Cobb. Yeah, he just got done. I'll let him know. Your pizza's here. All right, we'll now go to the chairwoman of the Parks and Recreational Resources Committee, Commissioner Retzloff.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am pleased to report that I have no report today. I do, however, still want to make a shout out to Port engineers and the work we're doing on Walnut Lane and also our rec center committee folks. I do want to specifically call out the Port engineers' 3D modeling efforts. Just their work product has been so excellent. And it was great to see a full house here to talk about that long time coming park. And so that concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Commissioner Ratzavon. We'll now go to the Chairman of the Environmental Resources Committee, Commissioner May.
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I'd like to begin with the recycling report. During the month of March 2025, Springfield Township residents recycled 134.05 tons of material with a householder participation rate of 63.4%. The net cost for the month was $19,625.54. Next, regarding leaf compost, the Board of Commissioners would like to inform residents that fresh leaf compost will be available beginning this Friday, April 11th, at the Township's distribution site located on West Wissahickon Avenue in Flourtown. Leaf compost can be added to soil as a soil amendment or used as a top dressing around landscape plants in place of hardwood mulch. Leaf compost will also stimulate earthworms and other helpful organisms and will retain more water and moisture than traditional hardwood mulch. Next, regarding the Environmental Advisory Commission. On March 24th, 2025, the Board of Commissioners was informed that Gail Farmer of Flourtown has found it necessary to resign her position as a member of the Springfield Township Environmental Advisory Commission. The Board of Commissioners wishes to thank Ms. Farmer for contributing her time and talents to the Springfield Township community. I did have the opportunity to work with Gail. She's an extraordinary person, and her short time working with us was able to add a lot of value. I think we'll all remain in touch with her. She just was not going to be able to, contribute in the full manner that she would like to now. And, we're crossing her fingers that she can make a comeback in the future because she had a lot to offer to us. But that does leave her position open. We do have some interested parties, but with the Environmental Advisory Commission, we're always looking for more individuals. So we're still looking for those who might be interested in taking part in the board or just helping out with the group. It's been an extremely effective committee that has brought a lot of value to the township. And so it's a great opportunity for our township residents to contribute. And I would encourage any and all to do so. Lastly, regarding the municipal campus solar project, I have a motion. And I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the engagement of Celentano Energy Solutions to provide solar consultation services for the installation of a solar photovoltaic system at the Springfield Township Municipal Campus. The discounted fee for services shall be $175 per hour for actual time billed with a total fee not to exceed $12,000. That is my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, nay. There's recorded 6-0 vote.
And that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Commissioner May. We'll now go to the,
Quick question. Do we ever run out of leaf compost?
We have not run out of leaf compost. No.
So plenty available, everybody.
Plenty of availability. In fact, we need to
Have a bunch
get
of
rid of it so that we have room at the compost site for the stuff that we're picking up throughout the summer and the fall.
Come and get it, everybody.
all right, we'll go to the Chairwoman of the Public Works and Facilities Committee, Commissioner McNamara.
All right, got a few items this evening. The first is the 2025 Highway Resurfacing Project. On April 2nd, 2025, bids were received for the Township's 2025 Highway Resurfacing and Milling Program. Bids were received from 5 contractors: Glasgow Incorporated, Heidelberg Materials, Allen Myers, James D. Morrissey Incorporated, and General Asphalt Paving Company. The bids ranged from a low of $402,793.60 to a high of $458,820.90, based upon 3,750 tons of applied in-place asphalt and 22,295 square yards of road milling. The budget for the project is $423,599. Therefore, I move that the Board of Commissioners award a contract to Glasgow Incorporated of Glenside, PA, to mill and resurface specified township streets with a combined low bid of $89.10 per ton for resurfacing and $3.08 per square yard for road milling, for a total estimated price of $402,793.60.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Okay, next is the Avondale Road Storm Sewer Project. I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the advertisement of bids for the construction of a new storm sewer system on Avondale Road from its intersection with Longfield Road to Glenville Road, Erdenheim. Bid specifications and construction plans will be made available in the office of the Township Manager upon completion by the Township Engineer.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments?
Do we anticipate, what's the timing on this?
So ideally, the timing is that the storm sewer will be constructed before Glasgow comes in to resurface the road.
Okay,
So that's the intent.
Okay.
So we hope to have this out on the street before your next scheduled meeting of the Board of Commissioners. That's why we're asking for authorization to advertise now.
okay. Good. So it'll be ideally done by the end of the summer.
That's the hope, correct?
Yep. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Quick follow-up question. Will the neighbors receive notifications about the storm sewer project
Upon
specifically?
award of a contract, yes, when we have a better idea of the construction timeline.
Okay, next is regarding the sale of used vehicles. Section 1501.2 of the Pennsylvania First Class Township Code sets forth the regulations for the sale of township personal property via electronic auction. The Springfield Township Fleet Supervisor has recommended the sale of several used vehicles that will be retired as part of the township's vehicle replacement schedule in 2025. Therefore, I move that the Board of Commissioners authorize the sale of the following vehicles via the Municipid online public auction site. They include a 2005 International Refuse Truck, a 2012 Chevy K3500 State Body Truck, 2014 Ford Explorer SUV, 2021 Ford Inceptor SUV, and a 2012 Chevy Tahoe SUV. That's my motion.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Okay, next is an announcement from the Shade Tree Commission. On March 25th, 2025, the Board of Commissioners was informed that Tom Prispolinski of Orland has found it necessary to resign his position as a member of the Springfield Township Shade Tree Commission. Tom has served on the Shade Tree Commission since May 14th, 1997, and was responsible for the township pursuing designation as a Tree City USA community. The Board of Commissioners wishes to thank Mr. Prispolinski for his 28 years of service to the Springfield Township community. Next, at Arbor Day, resolution number 1664. I move that the Board of Commissioners adopt resolution number 1664, a resolution proclaiming Saturday, April 26th, 2025 as Arbor Day in Springfield Township. As part of the township's annual Arbor Day celebration, the Springfield Township Shade Tree Commission will be conducting an Arbor Day ceremony and tree giveaway that will begin at 9 a.m. and that will be held at the Free Library of Springfield Township, 8900 Faulkner Lane in Whitmore. Residents are also encouraged to enter a raffle drawing to receive one of 3 free trees by registering their name, address, and contact info. That will begin on Friday, April 4th at 9. They can go to www.springfieldmonco.org or stop by in person at the Township Building. Winners will be selected at random beginning at 4 p.m. on Thursday, April 17th. The board does encourage all citizens to join the Township Tree Commission to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to plant new trees in our community. That concludes my report.
Oh, you actually have.
That was a motion, correct?
Oh, that was a motion.
Yes.
That was a motion.
All right, you have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Questions or comments? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Please record a 6-0 vote.
Now that concludes.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner McNamara. And the board is once again open to receiving public comment.
Quick question for Manager Mike.
Sure.
I was regarding the upcoming golf tournament. So that whole week, Monday through Sunday, could actually, it sounds like it could be more extensive than we had thought as far as traffic and sort of.
So So earlier tonight, I don't know if everybody had an opportunity to review the emails or not, but I sent out the emails or the parking and the road restrictions that will be in place principally in White Marsh Township related to the Truist Golf Championship, which will be held during that week at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. So all of the streets that will be restricted will be open. However, there'll be police officers that posted at designated locations to try and keep people from getting into those neighborhoods that really shouldn't be there or don't have a reason to be there. Basically trying to cut down on the amount of cut through traffic. The parking facilities that have the potential to impact Springfield Township are a volunteer lot that will be created behind the Flourtown Fire Company property, and then one at the Flourtown Day area of the Fort Washington State Park on West Mill Road. Other than that, all the other parking facilities are in White Marsh Township. That's not to say that we're not going to see some spillover or impacts, but the police department has been notified, and if we need to deploy resources, we will.
In the Flourtown one, is that something that the fire company arranged?
Fire company
Privately
prearranged
with-
that, yeah, and that's for volunteers only, so it's not gonna be a general parking lot for regular people. And apparently most of the businesses that are located along Bethlehem Pike that have significant parking lots, and, we're concerned that they may have people parking there and then trying to walk their way over to the golf course. They've made arrangements for either private security and or a private towing company to be available if needed.
Where is most of the public parking in White Marsh?
They have it scattered throughout various different locations. You all have a map for it. They're utilizing a property in the office park in Fort Washington. They have another one at Hope Lodge that they've created.
Is it high school? Really?
I don't think so. School's gonna be in session, so I guess that took that off.
But Valley Green will be open?
Valley Green will be open, but there will be officers posted at certain locations to try and discourage people from using that as a cut through. And to get into like places like Henry Way and the developments that are off that road.
Thanks for the follow.
The weather looks good though, so they should be able to get it in.
Mhm.
Before we conclude, Mr. President, I'd like to request some time to address something. Would you mind?
Sure.
All right.
Whatever.
I wanted to spend some time to address the lawsuit regarding the Thin Blue Line American flag resolution, hopefully for the last time. While President Jim Lee has written extensively and accurately through his platform, I consider this a platform of record, and I didn't want to conclude the matter unaddressed in this room. The public is now aware that the matter before the courts has concluded after the Third Circuit declined to hear an en banc review, and we have collectively decided not to pursue the Supreme Court, where, while we believe strongly in our case, we do not believe will be an effective use of our resources. But the mark this case has made, sadly, can't be erased. I also want to be clear that I disagree with the legal holdings of the case all throughout this process. The outcome where publicly elected legislative officials are unable to determine its own messaging, in my opinion, puts a chill on the voice of the electorate, the constituents, the public. And this situation, which silences the voice of people through the court, as opposed to the appropriate venue in our system, elections, I do not overstate when I say I believe this outcome is undemocratic, because it belies the will of the people in shaping their view of a just, healthy, functional society through appropriate legislative means by the duly elected officials. The appropriate protest is at the polls. It's also important to note that this doesn't change that we have a strong department of earnest, hardworking officers who deserve worthy pay, a healthy working environment, and meaningful work. And I don't think you will find evidence that anyone here among us believe that's untrue. None of this controversy is a reflection on their work ethic, humanity, or worthiness. On the details, I want to give the public a reminder of what has transpired and then its conclusion, so you would have the facts in one location. The PBA is a group consisting only of our township officers, not including leadership. They do community work outside of their paid roles through this separate umbrella, but it is primarily organized for our purposes as their bargaining unit, their labor union, whose leaders negotiate with staff on matters like pay increases and other quality of life and employment issues. The symbol in question, a remix of the American flag that incorporates a blue line, was used as a part of a logo update, which was then used by the organization around town and eventually drew the negative attention and ire of many, myself included. While I acknowledge that a symbol can mean many things to many people, and I've acknowledged this throughout, I don't think it can be denied that this remix came to represent Blue Lives Matter. Where any blank Lives Matter language was used for a certain period of time, it was used as a direct reaction and antithesis to the words Black Lives Matter. The words Black Lives Matter in its most basic sense was highlighting the humanity and worthiness of dignity of Black people and was used to represent solidarity with Black Americans amidst ongoing concerns with racism in general. As a result, nationally, a defensive or counter posture to the phrase implied, to those who understood what the Black Lives Matter statement said, an inability to recognize the basic humanity of Black America. I also want to clarify this notion that by actively supporting the concerns of neighbors, especially Black and Brown neighbors through this resolution, we as a township somehow do not also provide support to our officers in general. This is a notion not supported by the facts. Whether the department's financial support is adequate, whether there are more resources needed, whether our staff is most efficiently and effectively operating, whether the staff is satisfied with their quality of life in this career. These are all important queries that anyone should ask of any organization among their employees of any organization that you may oversee. And I expect our staff leadership works on these issues regularly. After many private conversations with the organization by many parties, including our solicitor and manager, it was the consensus that because it was their choice as a private organization to use the symbol as they see fit, that we as representatives consider what we could take action on to protect our township's interests. It was advised we make a resolution to control that which we can, those properties and representations we own and associated public-facing symbols, and we tried to do so through that resolution. We relied on our manager's abilities, which we trust, to have discretion regarding what was public-facing for the purpose of the resolution, and he described as such how he would do that by an office memorandum. The PBA, promptly joined by the FOP, decided to sue us. We had a single federal judge rule a motion for summary judgment for the plaintiffs. At that time, a judgment near approximately $250,000 was awarded, meant solely for their attorney's fees. We appealed in the Third Circuit and did not win the appeal in a 1-2 decision with a strongly worded dissent that aligned with our expectation to properly hear the facts of our case. We decided to ask for an en banc review at minimal cost upon our attorney's advisement, and we will owe the judgment caused by the lawsuit entirely going to their attorney's fees. It is my opinion that this is a failure of the law, but importantly, a failure of trust in many ways. From the officer's lack of trust in our public's earnest concerns, perhaps to a failure of trust in the chief and our manager's discretion as to what is public facing, to some erosion of public trust in our civic institution in general, really at the basis of a marginalized group trying to be seen and heard. One common refrain I heard was that few or no one or outsiders were the only complainants, which was both categorically false and irrelevant. Leaders should recognize the many institutionalized reasons why people who fear authority would fail to show up and complain to said authority about that same authority. Leaders should recognize that disenfranchisement, usually over a course of generations, continues in the quiet exactly because it goes unaddressed. As an identifiable member of a marginalized group, I cannot tell you how important and frankly emotional it was to see work to be done to support and protect an underrepresented class, even if only by words in a resolution, risk of cost regardless. The law does not always provide justice, but people persist in their pursuit because America values the rule of law. One main reason we're not going to the Supreme Court is because of how much it might cost. And the reality is money does dictate whether or not justice is served for so many people in this country. And that's no different for us here as a collective of dollars. Just remember that I believe you can outrun law with money, but a history of race and dignity is not determined by a race to the truth, but by the history. I appreciate our community had a higher cost tolerance than most to ensure we pursued this matter to a reasonable nth degree. I believe the good relationship with our department and its officers will continue, and that the work of ensuring community conversations around engagement with police will restart on matters from institutional bias to traffic to mental health. Just as the individual officers have the difficult task of managing all of these issues at once at every moment, I believe our residents' voices can contribute to valuable problem solving and not just complaints. I hope we will come back to that committee discussion, which I think we discussed about doing that last summer. I hope we can come back to that discussion again soon. Mr. President, I apologize for the lengthy remarks, but you've said to me that oftentimes people do not hear from us except in the minute they are paying attention, and we have to repeat ourselves, and which in fact, I hate taking the time to do. And I agree it's hard in this particular role to serve all and strive to listen to all and be at once earnest listeners while also vocalizing critical analysis at once, as I think we hope to digest as prudent and fair decision makers should. And I appreciate in these times, you, Jim, and other colleagues sitting here whose wit is a little quicker than mine, and I have to write mine out. You and colleagues here have continued to defend and exemplify what it means to be a public servant to all. And for today, I wanted to close this chapter with a conclusion for the benefit of the public to understand the facts, but also to touch on the issues of democratic choice, protecting public trust, and supporting marginalized groups, all of which I stand by unequivocally. I have a finally. Finally, I want to push back against the general idea that the municipal public discourse on the culture wars is antithetical to progress in some way, or that'll be handled in the market economy of societal norms outside of this room. I think in the long tail of history, what people remember is not the details about my pronoun, protest signs, whether tariffs and Dows went up or down by an exact amount, because the American people will persist through these weird times. What people will remember, though, is whether we treated them and their forefathers and foremothers with dignity and kindness, and people will honor foremost those of us who continue to do that and uphold dignity and kindness. We can, I think we did do this at the smallest levels of government, and we can exemplify that and continue to be the laboratories for the largest levels of the bureaucracy. Thank you so much for giving me this time to give that, surprisingly to myself, long speech, not what I intended. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your leadership.
At this time, there's no more public comment. I believe that the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
The motion is second. Okay.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Please record one more time, 6-0. We are, whatever. We're out of here. We're adjourned. My microphone.